You're watching Good Boys. You're watching Good Boys. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. I just realized I ran out of these planks that I was using and have different colored planks in my inventory. Hope I have enough to do what I was doing. Not sure. But, so I think I potentially might have gotten a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a guy. He's my guy.
Congratulations. What the fuck, Jeff? This is all kinds of jacked up.
It's beautiful.
Well, let me make it. Maybe it's going to come together here. I guess I don't really know. No, it didn't.
Nope. Nope, it did not come together. It was close. It was close. There's some slight problems with this setup.
Yeah.
But
I think you thought this through.
But ignoring that, I think I might have gotten a guy either in a lot of trouble or potentially fired.
Oh no! How'd you do that?
Yeah, well, so it wasn't really my fault. It's his own. It's been months in the making, so it's really strange. We work my system is like multiple different hospitals all together in a system, and I've been doing all this work ever since we had that whole malware attack back in 2016. We had a malware attack. You know about that, right?
Yeah. I think everyone knows about that, right?
Yeah, but it got like overshadowed by the fact that it happened to all of Europe the next year.
Oh, you know what? That's what I was thinking about when you said that. Yeah, I do remember it now, but I was actually thinking of the one that happened to everyone. So are you satisfied with this? Are you walking away from this?
I'm gonna go look at what it looks like from a distance.
Okay.
We had that happen to us before, before it was cool. But before it was oh god, this looks terrible. Hold on, I don't know if there's any fixing this. I thought at least from the outside it would look okay, but you can't even see the roof.
No, you really can't. It's just too short.
Fuck, I need to rebuild the whole thing and double the layers up.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's why I was coming to look at it, because I want to see where you were going with that. I didn't realize you were almost done.
Yeah, I didn't realize it looked like this from a distance. I thought it was gonna look fine. I just kept going.
I mean, it probably looks okay. It looks really bad on top, though.
yeah, it looks terrible. It does not look good from the side, though, at all.
No.
It looks terrible.
Yeah.
So
this mess you're making here, you're making such a mess.
I'm taking inspiration from beef. Just put random blocks everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't it make it look good?
Oh, what a mess. You could have just walked up right here. I'm here where you're at now. I didn't place any blocks. It's just like a straight walk right there.
That was too far away. After the malware attack, I started really honing in on trying to make sure our downtime system was as good as it could possibly be. How do we access some pertinent information in case we have another malware attack or a downtime or something like that, to more effectively take care of our patients? It opened up a can of worms on how defunct our system was, and it was mainly defunct from people that put it into place years ago. It functioned absolutely fine, and the malware attack actually destroyed the downtime computers afterwards, and nobody knew how to get them back up and running again because the people who had originally done it no longer worked for the company. So it was mainly just one of those things that comes out of there was not an appropriate handoff of these systems, and it kind of got left to whoever would take on the challenge of redoing, which turned out to be me.
And you didn't get assigned this; you just kind of started doing it, right?
Yeah, I just started doing it because nobody else would. It's really an IT job, not an informatics job, which people still don't understand the difference, and that's fine. Nursing informatics, I deal with more of the clinical systems. I'm like a liaison between nurses and IT, essentially. But
so
IT
you don't even do regular
IT
nursing anymore, do you?
No.
I hadn't even thought about that, but I guess I knew that. I just didn't put that together in my head.
Work. I haven't touched a patient in years, which is sad.
You miss them?
Yeah, I do. I really miss patient care because I didn't go into informatics because out of patient care, which a lot of people do go into because they're done with patient care. They want to do something else in the nursing field, but not direct patient care. I did not go into this field for that reason. So I'm missing out on something I actually want to do. But it's a different career path. That's what the opportunity that came to me to become the director is not something that comes all the time. Like, it was basically, if I don't take this opportunity now, I will probably not get the opportunity to be a director of this type of department for many, many, many more years.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I had to take the opportunity when I could get it, and I feel like I'm thriving pretty well at it, which is good. Like, I didn't get in there and realize like I can't do it. Like, I'm successful at what I'm doing, which is good. It's why I'm still there. But I basically took on this whole project and did all this really good. It took me a long time to get the people at the IT in my facility, and it took actually the backing of our IT director at my facility to give me passwords to things that I needed to, like, just schedule basic tasks on a computer that would run on a regular basis to make sure we had this downtime stuff.
Yeah.
My IT director is amazing. He knows that nobody else was really supporting this anymore and knew that I was working hard on it and really fought. And it still took about 3 or 4 months before we could get people to give me the approvals to get these passwords to these, like, special accounts, because there's all these special accounts that don't have password resets on them because of the nature of the fact that they're supposed to run all the time. And you don't want every 90 days when you have a system that you're trying to do something with as a backup system, every 90 days you have to go in and rechange the password on all the, you know, the things that are running. So they're held very close to the breast for, you know, from an IT security perspective. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I get it. But
I'm surprised all this stuff isn't done with, like, keys and stuff instead of, like, physical passwords. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean, but the problem is, and this is the problem with, like, EHRs in general, they don't offer. I think they try to sell you on their own downtime systems that are prohibitively expensive. I threw an egg.
Oh, but no, the egg.
I threw an egg out of my butt.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, look like you just laid an egg. Anyway, sorry.
No, but they try to make these systems, like, prohibitively expensive because they want to sell you on their downtime system. But they are like I'm talking dollars.
You broke up. How many dollars?
Millions.
Oh, Jesus.
A year to have the an appropriate downtime system that you want. So we have kind of this homegrown, like, thing that they've had for many years. But when you got, people who can't support it anymore because they're no longer with the company or whatever, like, real trail to go out and get it supported, it's very difficult. So either way, I did all this work, got all these passwords, the blessing of my IT director, doing all this stuff. I rewrote all the scripts that pull the downtime stuff, and then I'm like, you know what? There's so much more I could probably do with this. Let me see if I can write some scripting and some code that will examine the systems and see, is it up to date right now? Does it have the appropriate file for based on what time it is? Like, because it dumps new files every, like, couple hours.
Right.
Let me check against the system clock. Has it gotten a new file in the last hour like it's supposed to? And if not, let me email me and tell me, hey, something's wrong with the downtime computer. Because we've had the problems before the downtime computer was not up to date. And we didn't know it until 3 days from now when we actually went and physically checked it to see what was going on. And turns out for 3 days we haven't had backups because we didn't look at it every minute of every day. So I start writing all these new scripts, and they end up being really good and really useful. And I present it to other people at other facilities through my corporation. And they're like, that's amazing. We want the same thing. So I became the downtime guy. So now I'm like, all these people are like, hey.
It sounds negative when you say it.
Well, in our profession, it's a good thing. Like, but yeah, I can. The
sounds like the depressed guy or something. Oh, he's always so down.
Oh, Jeff, you're the downtime guy. What's wrong? But unfortunately, the other facilities don't necessarily have the backing of their IT department like I have at mine. So it's still a struggle. Some of them do. Some of them are very, like, on board with, like, oh, you did this? Great. here's the access that you need. Get on and get this stuff going for us. And some of them are like, I don't know. We like to keep this stuff close to us. How about after multiple phone calls with multiple different directors, we might let you tell us what to do, and we'll see if it can get installed type of deal. Well, this thing's gotten big enough over the past year that they've now decided it's going to be the standard. Like, what I've done needs to be the standard. I'm in charge of making sure it gets done at all these places. Still, potentially with the... Oh, God, I just fell down a lot. With the IT department being the main people who actually do it, but I can just guide them in how to get everything installed.
Yeah.
Well, one particular facility, we've been trying for months, and the person who is in charge of their system has just not been responsive, even though he's been told by, like, his superiors that he needs to be. Like, this is the way we're going with this. Help him get all this stuff done because it needs to get done. Just very non-responsive to me. Okay, whatever. He doesn't work for my facility. I get it. Like, he's probably busy as well. It's not that not necessarily that he's just being completely unresponsive. He's just also busy doing other things. And this is the priority for him, which is one of the problems we found about this in the first place. Is standard IT guys don't look at this as a priority. It's only a priority when the system's down and you realize it's not there. That's the problem with any downtime system in general, is people are like, oh, yeah, sure, we have one in place, but, oh, shit, we're down and the system wasn't working right. Now it's a big deal.
Right.
You know, disaster preparedness, emergency management stuff. But so it's been months and months and months. So I've been working with the directors at their facilities, and some of the people just in the informatics space were getting very upset with me because I haven't made any progress on getting this stuff up to date in their system yet. And I was like, look, I've tried to contact this guy numerous times. You guys have tried to contact him numerous times. He's not responding. I don't know what else to tell you. And they're like, well, he works at your facility, though. You have more access to him than we do. Just, like, why don't you talk to him? And I said, he doesn't work at my facility. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, we were told he works at your facility. This is a guy who, like, runs the show at their hospital.
Okay.
And I was like,
this is weird.
I was like, no, he doesn't work at my facility. He works at your facility. Like, I'm trying to coordinate through you because I can't do anything with the fact that he works at your place, not mine. If he worked at my place, sure, I could get some stuff done, but he doesn't work at my place. I was like, so I was like, okay, obviously there was some weird miscommunication. I don't really know what's going on. So the other day, their director was like, Jeff, you need to, like, help me out. I still can't get this guy to do the stuff that he's supposed to do. And every time I try to call down to his office, I'm told that he's at your facility for the day. And I was
this guy's just not going to work?
I don't have any idea. Like, that's the thing, is I have no clue. He doesn't work for us. He never comes to our facility. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. So
and you don't know what's happened?
Well, I bring it up to my IT director, and I'm like, look, like, I don't know what's happening here, but I really need you to help me look into something because I'm trying to get this done. He knows I've been trying to get this done, and he knows that I've been not have success with this particular individual, which is not unexpected from, you know, just people who know him. I guess it's not unexpected to have weeks go by without contact from him when I don't know. I don't work there. I don't work for him. I don't work under him. I don't work with him. I don't know, like, why this is, like, an accepted practice. Maybe it's, I mean, there's a lot of other factors that could be at play. Like, it's, yeah, he does a fine job, but this is just one of those things that's not a priority to him. So therefore it's getting, like, you know, pushed to the side, which it's not great, but it could be an acceptable response when you have a bunch of other things that you're dealing with.
Right.
Well, so I tell him the story of what's going on, how all these people are saying that he's working at our place all the time. And he's like, I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense because that's completely incorrect. He doesn't work here. I don't understand. He goes, let me make some phone calls. I shit you not. 5 minutes later, I have an email from him.
The guy?
The guy.
What the fuck?
All the email says is, I have now been given admin access to their system to do this stuff.
That's so this is really close to the hiccup story. I just want to say. I mean, we got resolution, but it really isn't enough. I mean,
well, but that's all I know so far because it was today. That was today.
Oh, okay.
So I have absolutely no idea. Like, was this it very well could have been that it's just other things are such a priority for this particular individual because he's got a big job role. I get it. That he might have just finally been like, oh, I haven't gotten to this stuff. Somebody's telling me I need to get to this stuff. Let me just give him the access to do it because obviously he's done it at multiple other facilities at this point. Like it's safe, and that's one of the things is they don't want a random nursing informaticist person doing the IT job. Don't give me admin rights to their systems because that's what the IT people need to do. I get that. That's a security thing. I've done this at multiple other facilities now though, so I might have like quote unquote street cred for being able to do this stuff appropriately and not like fuck up the entire system.
Yeah.
Or is it that is it that he just finally gave up and it was like just so he can do it because I really don't have time for it? Or is it or have you really been telling people that you're not at your facility because you're at ours when you don't work here? Like
that's such a weird thing. I mean, and it's kind of brilliant in a way because who knows how long he's been doing
for that long?
Yeah. He could have been doing that for like a year or something. Who knows?
It's possible. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. And I'm so curious to find out. But at the same time, it's one of those that I will probably never get a full answer. Unless I hear, like, if somebody randomly says, oh, this person no longer works here, I'll kind of know. Right. But unless that's the case, I'm going to just go on forever going, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
That's pretty wild. Well, now I want to know.
I also want to know, but I mean, I hate getting people in trouble, and that's why I didn't go to his boss before, because his boss, amazingly, does work between both of our facilities. Mm. She is somebody who actually she's at our facility 2 days a week, at their facility 2 days a week, and I think she's at the corporate office like 1 day a week. Like, she literally is a split position between the two, but his role is not. We have our own one of his roles as a full-time employee.
We have one of you.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, we have one of him. We don't need him over here. We have one. Oh, God, I felt that.
So, my question with all this, too, and it's not about him, but, you're talking about you're rolling this out to other hospitals in your corporation, or that's what you called it, right? Corporation?
Yeah, even though I'm not supposed to use that term.
Oh, okay. Because
they want us to use the term system.
Okay.
Because corporate sounds bad.
Yeah, I could see that. Right, you're not a business. You're here to help people.
That's a whole brand new thing, so it's really funny. So everything I talk about the system, and like the other day, I told my boss I couldn't go to a meeting because I was going to be, and I put in quotes, I need to go to system today. Because we used to just say we go to corporate. We go to corporate. Like, corporate is utilized as like a noun where you go to, but I've replaced it with system, which cannot be utilized as that same noun, but I use it anyway. Yeah.
You have to go to system today.
I go to system. I am at system.
That's pretty funny. God, but okay. So how many are in the system? What's your Borg look like?
7 plus 2.
Okay, so you've basically created this system for your system, and that's now being accepted within the system. But what about outside of your system? Like, what are all those hospitals doing?
Oh, exactly. I don't know. This is honestly one of those things when I'm all done with it all. That sounds great. When I'm all finished with this implementation, I might write a research article on it. Okay. I was actually suggested to already because of what it is and how downtime is a really big deal in today's day and age, with all the the malware attacks and all that stuff. That it would probably be a really intriguing article that could get me some notoriety in the field. God, right? Some significant notoriety in the field. Like, a lot of people, it's funny, you end up reading all these research articles, like I do, especially being in college, read a lot of nursing research articles on different things. I read a lot of them on EHRs and stuff. And I see the same authors' names coming up from time and time again in many of these articles because somebody writes an article, then they write another one, then they write another one, all on the same fucking thing. But they keep writing more articles on the same thing.
Why?
I think, well, some of it's like there's new updates. Some of it's just because you want to write another article. Maybe, I have no idea.
What do you get out of the articles? Like, I mean, Like,
oh, research notoriety. Like if you can,
yeah, but what do you do with that? And he's get you jobs.
depends on what you're doing. Some people can, if you have enough research, come speak at conferences.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So,
you can turn your whole job
into
into now being a speaker, teaching classes on stuff, running like quote unquote boot camps on things. There's a lot of positives. Sometimes it's a lot of professors. Like, remember the problem I had with my professor wanting to be that. Sometimes there's a requirement by their college and university that they publish X number of articles a year.
That seems silly. You're just writing shit to write shit.
Well, and that is what happens in academia. It's what happens sometimes. I'm not saying it's. But I definitely can be the quote unquote downtime guy. Like, there's not that many people that write about downtime stuff. This is actually an area that I could really take over and have my name be out there in nursing textbooks if I actually
be like the
etho
of downtime.
I could be, and it's really this. I think the saddest part is as a former engineer and programmer, some of the code that I've written, because of the way you have to as part of it, and part of it's just I'm out of practice, is terrible, but it works.
Right.
And that's where I feel like embarrassed to put this out there. But then at the same time, I look at the freaking EHR system, and those are written terribly, and they sell for millions of dollars.
Yeah. When I worked in IT as a system administrator, we didn't have a working backup system. Like, we had a machine that was supposed to be doing backups, but it never worked. I don't think they actually had licenses for it. I think that was really what the problem was. And I had spent a lot of time trying to fix this because it was just always this pain in the ass. Anytime we needed to restore a backup, there just wasn't. You just couldn't because it wasn't there.
Because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Back up.
So I ended up going through all of our like scrapped servers, and I made like 5 or 6 Frankenstein monster machines, and I turned them into backup machines. I just filled them full of hard drives and just started making. I wrote my own backup software basically, because there was just this awful thing. And I even made it where, because before too, the techs would, like, someone would call in tech support. The customer would need a backup, and so then they'd submit a ticket to the system administrators, and we'd have to go fuck around and try to find a backup. And most of the time we couldn't. So I even made like a web interface so the techs could just restore backup. So it's like, just don't even talk to me. But yeah, backup.
Yeah, and that's essentially what I've done with, like, some of this stuff. It's just so weird because it's so primitive. Because what it is we get a backup dumped. I'll explain it to you because it's not like proprietary or anything. The backup gets dumped to a share drive every 2 hours, and it's just for the medication administration record. Because honestly, it's like the most important thing you need to get access to right away in the event of a downtime, especially assuming that it's going to be a short-lived downtime. I just need to know, like, quickly, like, that's the thing I do on the most regular basis is administer medications. What did you get? What do you have ordered? What do you need?
Right.
And let's hope the system is going to be back up in the next hour or two.
Gotcha.
Anything greater than like 2 hours old is pretty much outdated because a lot of the orders could have changed. So that's why it backs up so frequently. But it backs up based on like some script that's run at the EHR level, and it dumps it to a PDF file. And it's a 3,000 page PDF file from that facility. And it writes it to a share drive. Well, one of the bigger problems that we had in the malware is the share drives weren't accessible. So what do you do? And we had a system in place for that, but this is a system that got broken. So there's just a script that runs that there's a computer at each facility that every couple hours, when the new file is there, it goes out and it grabs the file and it puts it on the local machine. So that if you lose network connectivity as well, there's a computer at the facility you can go print this record from.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
That's the whole concept of what this system is.
Yeah.
So it's just this really shitty copy command to get the stuff on a regular. And then I've added all these bells and whistles to it about, like, go check the file. Does it actually match? Is it within the last 2 hours like it's supposed to be? If it's not, I'm going to email you and tell you, hey, we're not up to date right now. Something's wrong.
So I guess one of my questions is your email hard-coded into the script?
It is, and that is a problem, actually. Because,
yeah, it is.
Because whenever anybody, and that's part of the crap that I was thinking about that today, because I was on the computer, and it's 5 people's emails that are hard-coded into the script. I have no way to just make it hit up with Active Directory or change it any other way. In theory, the best thing I could probably do, the easiest thing I could probably do, is create a distribution list for each hospital and email the distribution list, but you're in charge of updating the distribution list for
Yeah.
the people who need to receive this.
Right. That's what I was going to
probably
suggest. Is
where
make-
it's going to go to.
Yeah.
But since it started on a whim, it's just hard-coded emails right now.
Right. That's what I figured when you started telling me about this. Was my assumption.
Yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts in my head on how to update, but I'm first just trying to make sure it gets rolled out everywhere and works appropriately, and then I can work on the updates to make it a little bit more user friendly for the future.
Right.
That's not mine.
Because like if you died tomorrow or whatever, this thing would need fixing basically.
Yes, and nobody would really be able to fix it. Granted, somebody with a skill set could come in and look at it because I've documented what everything does and put it out there to make sure people have it. You would just, in general, nursing informaticists, despite we're considered IT people, but we're not IT people. I'm an IT person. I have an IT background. The general nursing informaticist is not nearly as computer savvy as you would think.
Right.
They don't know how to program. Programming is never taught. Unless you've learned it on your own, you don't know how to program. And you have very basic functionality with like Microsoft Office, unless you've gone on your own and done more extensive things. It's literally learning how an EHR works, how it stores data, and how you need to interface with nursing to IT. Like it's
probably the most annoying IT job you could have, from what I've heard.
Yes, because everybody thinks you're IT. People constantly are asking me to fix their printers. Somebody I deal with on a daily basis because she's good and bad at this. It's a nurse that always wants to bring up problems to me. Some of it's great because she brings up these problems that we don't know about, and like it's one of the biggest problems that you have is there's problems that you don't know about because nobody tells you.
Right.
But when you have somebody who tells you every little problem, it also becomes like overloaded the other way. And I had to explain to her the other day. She told me that when she's trying to print an EKG, that the Windows keeps bringing her up the picture viewer, and she can't print it from there. And I said, look, it's bringing up the standard Windows picture because it's a JPEG file is the way it's stored on there. Just hit next and print it as the picture, like it's asking you to. Well, the next button doesn't work. I'm like, then put in a help desk ticket because I don't know how to help you. She's like, aren't you IT though? And this is somebody I've been working with for years. She thought I could just come down and fix her computer because it's not printing files like JPEGs appropriately. And an average person listening is probably like, well, isn't that what you do? And no, that's not at all what nursing informaticists do. That's what I did when I was in IT, but I don't have IT admin rights. I only have admin rights for specific computers because of this downtime stuff. I don't have domain admin. I can't go and fix your computer because it's not hooked up to the appropriate printer.
Yeah.
Like, or it's launching the wrong program when you're trying to open something that won't actually print. Like, I can't do that because I don't have the physical rights to do that. I know how to do it, but I can't do it.
How many IT people do you guys have?
Got at my facility, probably 50.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we actually have a decent IT. It's more of our help desk system that's hard because you have to go to the system help desk, and then they route it back to your facility, and then they page it out to whoever's on call or working that day to get this ticket. So then they have like a list of tickets that they need to deal with. So who knows when they're going to get to it.
It sounds like everything has got just so much bullshit layered in it that you could get a lot more done without all the bullshit.
Oh, you absolutely could, but then you would never track anything. So there's the other inherent problem to just going up and fixing things is, oh, you fixed the same computer. And we still have this problem even with the bullshit. We used to have a computer in our nursing office that prints barcodes for people have to scan their own barcodes for their usernames. And our handheld devices, you can just put it on the badges and you can scan them. The barcode label printer would break, wouldn't work. Turns out it was because a Windows update update that kept happening was not compatible with the version of the barcode printing software that they had.
Uh-huh.
So every 2 weeks on the nose, the computer would break. Somebody would submit a ticket. The IT guy would go and roll back the update.
Oh, wow.
And leave. But he wasn't documenting it right. So the 50th time the same ticket got put in, people just kept doing the same thing. And finally, the nursing office called me, and this is what it's not even to say, this keeps happening and they won't fix it. Like every 2 weeks we have to do this. So I brought it up to my IT director who delved into it more and was like, what the fuck? Like, Why are they not documenting what they do? Because there's clearly a problem. Let's look for a software update for this stuff, type of deal.
So it was
Let's
that simple.
find
They
a
just
different
update the
route.
barcode machine and then all fixed.
It took a lot more than that, but essentially, yes. We found appropriate software that worked with this specific security update that was breaking it so that this doesn't happen anymore.
Wow.
Literally a problem that was going on for more than 2 years
Jesus.
was fixed in a couple weeks once I got raised to me and I raised it to the right person who actually delved into it to be like, why do they keep doing the same thing when this just keeps happening? And why is it only one of the people in our IT department can go and fix this every time?
I guess it keeps them in the job.
Yeah.
So I went caving, by the way. I was just because I didn't know what else to do with my life. And this cave that I have found would have been the perfect UHC cave. I've got so much gold. No diamonds, though. We live in a diamond-free zone, man. Oh, I found diamonds just now. Just right now.
You lie.
No, I am so serious.
Saying it for the camera.
I walked around the
Found it,
corner,
dude.
and there were diamonds right after. Man, I should say there's no diamonds more often. I got
There's no
7.
diamonds on my tower.
Yeah.
No, there's still no diamonds there.
That doesn't always work. Just some of the
I
time.
had like this weird half layer to it to try to look at if it looks decent. And I can't tell because of the way I built it if it's going to look decent.
Oh, me. Well, we're out of time once again, so you'll have to decide on another day, I guess.
All right, folks.
Bye, everybody. See you.